Yash, what's the main point of this non-duality pointing? Because it's a pointing, it's not really a teaching. How are you going to teach non-duality? Non-duality already is. But what is non-duality, and how is that going to benefit my life? What are we doing here? Simple version. You got form, this body, these trees, and then you got formlessness. You got the essence. Obviously, you need the essence to have the form. So the form couldn't exist without the essence. Duality is all these forms, and the essence of this duality is non-duality. So non-duality needs duality to be non-duality, right? And vice versa. You can say the absolute, that's beyond non-duality and duality. But again, see, the point of this video isn't to woo. This is not the point. Just giving a basic, it seems basic, just a basic introduction to non-duality and why practice it, So how does that, so we've established there's form and formlessness. You can interchange those words. There's duality and non-duality. Non-duality is the essence, the consciousness of all things. So knowing that, how is applying that principle, this truth, because it's a truth, it's not an opinion, how is that going to help me? Like, what's that going to do? Is that going to evolve my spiritual evolution somehow? Is that going to give me serenity? See, this is what the point of a real spiritual practice or even religion should do. It should help us recognize who we are beyond this human form, and it should give us some serenity, because this whole human show, which consists of the physical body, mental body, and emotional body, the emotional body is very unstable because it's in the world of form. So things change. That's the thing, or the problem. The problem, if you don't know who you are, that's the problem with form. It's always changing. It's not stable. That includes our emotions. Feel good. Oh, I got something here. Yeah. Oh, I lost it. I feel bad now. Okay. Non-duality. You can say there's consciousness always. Always. There's consciousness when we have an emotion, when we have a thought. There's consciousness of how this body changes. This body doesn't look the same as it did 20 years ago. So, but the awareness, the consciousness, it hasn't changed. That's non-duality. Non-duality is like the witness of duality. This is how I explain it. This is because I like to give practical, useful ways that we can actually use this to benefit our life. There's too many people just going around spouting stuff that's coming from the mind, but it's like, okay, but okay, what? I'm a thought, you're a thought, everything's a thought. Okay, now what? Does that make you feel better? That's the problem with non-duality pointers, is you can think that you got something, but you don't have anything. I'm going to make a different video on that, though, the main trap of non-duality. What's the benefit of non-duality pointers? So first, when that's established, when we've established there's non-duality and duality, I can start to pay attention more to this consciousness, as opposed to paying attention to all the forms that sprout in this consciousness. Pay more attention to non-duality than duality. Well, how's that going to help me? Because then that's going to start giving this inner stability. Why? Because my attention is going to be on something that's stable instead of not stable. Consciousness, essence, non-duality, it's stable. It's not moving and changing. It's the form, it's the duality that's changing and moving all the time. Well, what is this consciousness, this essence, this non-duality? I like to give this very simple 2-second exercise as an introduction, and because it's just the quickest and best thing. I like whatever's fastest, best, and easiest. This is what I like. So if we switch everything off right now, just stop. That's all. Just stop. Don't engage with anything, just stop. You can do that. Anybody can do that. Now, not everybody can do it for the same length of time, but everybody can do it. We have that ability in us. God's put that ability in us. Otherwise, we'd be screwed. So you switch everything off just for a couple seconds. There's something you can't switch off, right? You still know that you exist. There's still a vibration that's announcing itself. That's non-duality. That's consciousness. That's essence. So when you know what that is, you start feeling that more often. You start doing this little exercise more often. You do it as much as you can. Do it all day and all night if you can. And then what happens is that that accelerates your spiritual evolution. There's a realization that takes place that your real self is much more essence in non-duality as opposed to the duality. That gives a sense of groundedness and stability. That allows intuition to start activating through your life and guiding you with certain things and how to handle situations and etc. This gives a sense of serenity. When we're stable, when we're more grounded, when we're not on this roller coaster that we're going to be on if our attention is always on form, our body, our emotions, what am I thinking, what are my desires, what are my goals and aspirations. If my attention's always there, I'm going to experience this kind of roller coaster experience through life. And then I can say, oh, but that's just a thought. Yeah, but does it feel like a thought? Does it really just feel like a thought? A lot of people are in pain and suffering and they just dismiss it, that whole spiritual bypass thing. We got to do earth ground work also along with this spiritual work. So I'll get into that later. But that's how non-duality pointers can benefit one's experience while they're in this body, because our instinct is to enjoy. God's downloaded this deep instinct that we should enjoy life and have serenity. Yeah, have serenity, enjoy life. Okay, that may get misinterpreted by the mind, but to have an inner sense of serenity and just you're just chilling, just feel good. This is the point of life. That can happen irregardless of our external situation, by the way. Depends on how deep our spiritual practice is. That can happen when we really start to put our attention on this non-dualistic essence that's within. And how do you do that? You switch everything off. You just switch everything off for a second or two so you get acquainted with what that feels like, this just vibration of existing. And then you start to keep your attention on that as much as you can. That's the spiritual practice. Do it.